I'm what you would call a collector of bootleg Pokemon games. Pokemon Diamond and Jade, Chaos Black, etc. It's amazing the frequency which you could still find them at pawn shops, Goodwill, flea markets, and such. They are generally fun, and if they are playable, which they often are, the ministrations and poor quality makes them unintentionally humorous. I have been able to find most of the ones that I've played online, but there's one that I haven't seen or mention of. I bought a flea market about 5 years ago. There was a picture of a cartridge in case if anyone recognized it. Unfortunately, when I moved 2 years ago, I lost the game, so I can't provide you with any screen caps. Sorry. The game started with the familiar Nidorino and Gengar intro of Blue and Red version. However, the press start button had been altered. Red was there, but the Pokemon did not cycle through. It also said Black version under the Pokemon logo. Upon selecting new game, the game started with Professor Oak's speech, and it quickly became evident that the game was essentially Pokemon Red version. After selecting your starter, if you looked at your Pokemon, you had in addition to Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, or another Pokemon, a ghost. The Pokemon was level 1 and had the sprite of the ghost that was encountered in Lavender Town before obtaining the Cephascope, and had one attack, Curse. Now I know the real name is Curse, but the attack did not exist back in Gen 1, so it appeared that it was hacked on. Defending Pokemon were also unable to attack Ghost. It would only say they're too scared to move. When the move Curse was used in battle, the screen would cut to black and a cry of defending Pokemon would be heard, but it was distorted. Played at much at the lower pitch than normal, the battle screen then would appear and the defending Pokemon would be gone. If used in a battle against a trainer or when the Pokeballs representing their Pokemon would appear at the corner, they would have been one fewer Pokeball. The animation was just as the Pokemon died. What's even stranger is that after deleting the trainer and seeing Red receiving like 200 for winning, the battle commands would appear again. If you select Run, the battle would end as it normally does. You could also select Curse. If you did, upon returning to the overworld, the trainer's sprite would be gone. After leaving the retaining area, the spot where the trainer would have been replaced with a tombstone like the ones in Lavender Town. The move Curse was not usable in instances, as it would fail against ghost Pokemon. It would also fail if you used against trainers that you would have to face again, such as your rival or Giovanni. It was also unusable if you were in the final battle against them. However, I figured that it was a grimace of the wreck of the game, allowing you to previously uncapture ghosts. And because the curse made the game so easy, I essentially used it throughout the whole adventure. The game then changed quite a bit after defeating the Elite Four and after viewing the Hall of Fame, which consists of ghosts and a couple Pokemon I used for HMs, and then the screen cut to black. The box popped up with the words many years later, then it cut to Lavender Town. An old man was standing looking at the tombstone. You realize that this man was your character. The man moved at least half your walking normal speed, no longer any Pokemon with you, not even a ghost. Whoever had up at this point had been impossible to remove all your party and depositing them in the PC. The overworld was entirely empty. There were no people at all. There were still tombstones of trainers that you would use Curse on. However, you could go pretty much anywhere in the overworld at this point, for your movement was limited due to the fact that you had no Pokemon to use HMs. Regardless of where you went, the music of Lavender Town continued at the infinite loop. After wandering around for a while, I found that if you go through Diglett's cave, one of the cuttable bushes will normally block your path on the other side is no longer there, allowing you to advance through to return to Pallet Town. Upon returning to your house, going the exact way you start from the game, the screen would then cut to black. Then a sprite of a Caterpie appeared and was replaced by a Weedle, then a Pidgey, and soon I realized, as the Pokemon progressed from Rattata to Blastoise, these were all the Pokemon I used Curse on. And at the end of my arrival team, Youngster appeared and then a Bugcatcher. And these were the trainers I had cursed. Throughout the sequence, Lavender Town music was playing, but it was slowly decreasing in pitch. By the time your rival appeared on screen, it was more a little demonic rubble. And then another cut to black. A few moments later, the screen then suddenly appeared. The true trainer sprite was now that of an old man, the same one who teaches you to catch Pokemon in Viridian City. Ghost appeared on the other side along with the words "Ghost wants to fight." You couldn't use items, and you had no Pokemon. If you tried to run, you couldn't escape. My only option was to fight. Using fight would immediately cause you to use struggle, which didn't affect Ghost, but a bit chip off of your own HP. It was Ghost's turn to attack. It would simply say nothing. Eventually, when your HP reached to a critical point, Ghost would only use Curse. Then the screen then cut to black for a final time. Regardless of the buttons you pressed, you were permanently stuck in this black screen. At this point, you could only do is just turn the Game Boy off. When you play new game, the only option had the game erase the file. But of course, I played it throughout the hacked game many times, and every time I ended up with the sequence several times, I didn't use Ghost at all, although he was impossible to remove any from my party. In these cases, it did not show any Pokemon trainers, and it just simply cut to the climatic battle with the Ghost. I'm not sure what motives behind this creator of this hack. It was widely disturbed, so it was presumably not for monetary gain, but it was very well done for a bootleg. It seems that it was trying to cover up controversy with the message, but although it seems that I stole a receiver of this message, I'm not entirely sure what it is. But invariably of death, the pointless of it, well, perhaps he was just trying to morbidly inject death and darkness into a children's game. Regardless, this children's game was made me think, and this had made me cry. And that, my little pretties, was Pokemon Black, a Pokemon pasta or Pokepasta. My final thoughts on the story. This is a pretty interesting creepypasta. I am not gonna lie right here. This pasta, to be completely and utterly honest, was actually pretty interesting and well made. So, as I was trying to look for some good Pokepastas, I came across this one sometime in 2000, well, I could definitely say 2019, but never had the chance to read it because I've been busy with other projects, but I decided to go ahead and, just touch the story and read it again because this was obviously really well made. Now, yeah, it was cliche, getting this from like Goodwill or anything like that. It was cliched a little bit at the beginning, but the rest of it, it was a pretty good pasta. Now, does that kill the story, some of the cliches? No, because I know this is a very older story, so I could definitely tell that this story was actually pretty interesting when, it's been quite a while since I read a Pokepasta, and this must have been written back in 2013 or 2012. Not really sure, to be completely and utterly honest. When I found out about this story, I actually found this story to be rather amazing. Now, I definitely have to say, not a lot of people, well, some people have done this story. I know Mr. Creepypasta has done it, but, I thought, I would go ahead and do this story. Now, I'm thinking that there's some other people out there that have done this story. Like, I know there's some people who have done this story, and I honestly have to say, this one was actually pretty freaky. Now, I know there's an actual game based on this, so I could definitely say it's, oh god, it was just really freaky with this pasta. Now, I know this was a pretty interesting creepypasta, so I could definitely say it was a pretty well made story. Like, I really do like how, everything went out. Like, it was just, oh god, it was just really well made in detail. Now, I did hear a few creep narrations of this, so I definitely have to say this story was actually pretty well made in detail for what this one was. It was actually really well made in detail. Now, the grammar of this story is really good. I'm not gonna lie. The grammar was actually really well made in detail, as well as the sentence structuring and the storyline, and everything about it was just flat out amazing. So I could definitely say that the grammar was really well made in detail. Now, the sentence structuring was good. Same with the paragraph structuring. Now, I can't really say there's anything else that I really didn't like. I can't really see anything that I don't like, but I could definitely say that the stories that I've seen are actually pretty good. Most of them are good on the Creepypasta Wiki. This one was actually a pretty good one. Now, I could definitely say that this story actually played out very well detailed. It actually was really well made. It played out a really good part of the story. So I could definitely say that this story actually was well made and amazing. So I don't know who the original author is, as I can't seem to find it. So yeah. If I do find out who the original author is, maybe in the future, I'll be sure to, well, give him or her proper credit. Now, anyways, with that being the case, yeah. If I do find out who the original author is, I'll be sure to give him or her proper credit in this video. I'm just gonna leave it anonymous for now until I find out otherwise. Now, anyways, back to this episode. This one actually was pretty interesting for the concept. It actually went out very well. It was pretty well made and detailed. This one was actually really awesome, to be completely and utterly honest. Now, I definitely have to say, I do like this pasta, so I could definitely say that this story was actually pretty good for what it is. Now, I know there's some other Poke Pastas that have, done this, but I definitely have to say this one actually played out very well. And I definitely have to say this one was actually really well made in detail. So I could definitely say that this one, I really do like it. So, anyways, I think I already, well, said what I had to say. And sorry about that. My nose is kind of stuffy. I'm probably going to blow my nose after the stream. Well, not stream, but like after I finish recording this. But I could definitely say, oh my god, this one was really well made in detail. It was disturbing, but it was actually pretty well made in detail. And I definitely have to say, I do like how this went out. It was just really well made in detail. So I definitely have to say that this one had a pretty good, concept going for. And that's actually pretty interesting, to be completely honest. So anyways, yeah. With that being the case, and with that being said, if there's any negative I would have to say about it would be, the confusing thing, it's not really a major thing, but I thought I would go ahead and point this out. But the thing I could definitely say were, the Goodwill and all that cliche was incorporated, finding the cartridge at Goodwill. Now, I know that this is an old story, but I just wasn't really a fan of that cliche. I know it's an old story, so I'm kind of willing to I'm gonna give it a pass, but, I'm just gonna say, that cliche, I'm just not a fan of, cliches in general, but unless they're used properly. In this case, it did do a decent job. Anyways, with that being the case, with that being said, I'm gonna sit there and say this right now. This is simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that is fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas or pokepastas, whatever you prefer to call this one. And this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story would have to be I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. Only giving it a 9 is because it's a good story, really well made in detail, the gameplay was freaky, and this is actually a good classic pasta. But the only thing I wasn't really a fan of would have to be the Goodwill cliche that it was incorporated in the story. I know this is an old story, so I'm willing to give it a pass, but just thought I would, point out what I wasn't a fan of. And the grammar was pretty well made in detail. I'm not gonna lie, the grammar was really good. So anyways, with that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm out.